Marcus with That Nerd Show. We're speaking with Caleb Smith and Brandon Moore from the Spearhead Effect. And as a former journalist, this one really intrigued me about everything that your main character does to kind of talk about or expose corruption. So, what was the inspiration behind this project? How did it come to you guys?
It was actually originally inspired by some of our favorite thrillers from the 1970s. Some of the Alan J. Pakula paranoia thrillers, The Parallax View, All the President's Men. And we kind of thought about doing something a little bit more updated with that. Okay. And then as far as the online journalism bit, yeah, it's definitely challenging. But I hopefully it raises a question of how far is too far to go when seeking publicity, when trying to get a point across. Should you maintain objectivity or should you become an activist yourself?
Well, and that's, I think, when you do any kind of journalism movie, I think every journalist has to find what that line is for themselves. And your character definitely explores that, dealing with the repercussions of kind of going too far as well.
I mean, our main character steps over that line within the first 30 seconds of the film. We make it very clear ultimately in the beginning that he was inspired by his mother's murder, and that's haunted him. And I think having a motive and having a rationale behind why he's doing something is fine. But I think ultimately he's so blinded by rage and by grief that he's unable to really understand the repercussions of his actions.
Right. But then again, in this climate, some people might say that it's okay for what he did.
Ultimately, look, we were very clear, with ourselves early on that we didn't want this to be a preaching movie. We didn't want to be telling our audiences what to think. And I think the ultimate goal for us was to have an audience walking out discussing whether it was too far, what they would do if they were in our protagonist's shoes. And I think the basis of great art is the fact that it inspires conversation and disagreement.
Well, and the other side is it's not black and white. So.
It's certainly not. And if there is black and white, then there's certainly a lot of gray. And that's kind of the area that we're trying to play with in the film.
Right. Now, at the same time, I mean, are you trying to have commentary on police officers abusing the power of the badge?
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible, I think, to completely separate from it. I think what we're just trying to do is not necessarily pass judgment. I do think the ultimate theme of the film is that you really need to understand the entire situation before you go preaching about it one side. And now that we're so intelligent enough, I think, to truly have enough hindsight to be able to really express the entire situation in a 90-minute movie.
Did you guys do any research with journalists or police officers to get both sides?
Yeah, we met with a police psychologist, which was pretty cool. And just hearing him talk about a lot of his former clients and the attitude of the different people, and we're lucky to have friends in these different fields as well. And absolutely, research is a very important part of any writing process.
Well, especially too, you have all of these gotcha journalists or these hidden investigative journalists going in. They're just a plethora of materials to look at online.
Okay, so before they rush you off somewhere else, there's always a nerdy question we like to ask every filmmaker. This year, it's if you could be a superhero or supervillain, what would your superpower be and why? What kind of superpower would you guys like to have? Let's start with you, Caleb.
The moniker of Superman has followed me around my whole life, so I'm not going to go with that one. I've always preferred to be Batman, and the superpower is just being really awesome and rich. So I'm just go with that.
There you go. You've seen the Justice League trailer too, have you?
Yes.
I think I'm going to have to go with transformation, to be able to transform into any animal or person.
That's
the animorphs, that type of thing.
Yeah, that's a good one. If it's any consolation, Caleb, we interviewed Sam Jones over New Year's Eve at a convention. He said the exact same thing. He's like, I want to be the detective and rich.
Yes, it's a good answer. Who wouldn't?
Forward is like through like 70s.
Exactly.
Yeah, and who's going to argue with Flash Gordon?
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, it was a great film, guys, and good luck with the rest of the festival.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I wrote. All right, I'm Marcus with That Nerd Show, and we are speaking with Alex. Okay. And from the Spearhead Effect. And wow, this was an incredible film, a little bit controversial. So, I mean, how did you come to this project?
I've been friends with Caleb for a really long time. Played football together at Yale. Did film, a couple short films in school.
What did I just do?
Worked on some commercials.
Exactly. So the film is very much
so I knew him
trying
through that,
to
and,
just
always had an interest
make
in
sense of what happened.
But I was too much of a coward to move out to LA, so I went to law school.
From the march,
but Caleb made me promise, the first movie
you
that
try to make
he
sense of
makes
it all.
or that
That's
he's
what I
going to
think
start
of it.
making, I got to be
Cool.
on
Now, did you
in
get a
some
chance
way
to
or
talk to
another.
any, like,
So
the
I passed the
officers
California
or
bar,
anything,
moved
like,
out,
post-event
and was sort of
interviews
general
with these
counsel
guys? I mean, that must have
to the
been
film.
really interesting to
But
talk
then,
about.
you know,
It was so
the guys
heartbreaking
decided,
to
hey,
attend the
they need a
visuals and
full-time
really feel
professorial
lost,
presence,
you know?
and I wasn't really doing much at the time, so I said, hey, let's do it. And pretty soon I became, you know, the line producer, you know, producer, location scout, semi-truck driver,
Yeah, no, I love
you know,
that.
you name it. So
Okay, so we gotta ask,
Doing the film fest circuit, right?
this
Right?
experience,
Okay,
is
so
it
we're
harder than law school, or?
oh my gosh, well,
I
it's
live in
completely
Dallas,
different,
so,
you know,
okay.
because there
the work
it's
is
really
still
structured, and
involved in
people
that.
tell you
I
what
just
you have to
finished
do.
a,
Here it's sort of like
360-degree
the three of us,
virtual reality film.
all we have is ourselves or
So
each
it's
other,
kinda
and
like getting my toes
we gotta
wet.
figure it out on our own.
Very
So
cool. Well, thank you
it's
so
a
much for
totally
talking.
different
I love seeing
experience.
these kinds of
Both
films.
present their own challenges. I gotta say this is way more fun and way more rewarding in certain ways.
Now, before they rush you off, we always like to ask a nerdy question to all of our filmmakers. So I'm holding a lightsaber for a microphone.
I love it.
If you could be a superhero or a supervillain, what would your superpower be and why? What kind of superpower would you like to have?
Well, that's tough. My favorite superhero is the Punisher, but he doesn't really have superpowers. So, I don't know. Invincibility is pretty cool. I like Wolverine. You know, he's got that regenerative thing going on. Probably that. I waffle between that and flying, but flying's so unoriginal. So, what about regenerative powers? You know,
There you go. That's a good one.
Being able to take
And
a
if you
bullet.
could be the Punisher with those powers.
Oh, unstoppable.
Yeah,
Unstoppable.
exactly. So I guess you're just as excited as we are for the Punisher on Netflix.
Oh, pumped.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for interviewing with us, and good luck with the film.
Thank you.